In our last video, we spoke about how mobile communication works. But for general electronic gadgets to work, there is one more important thing. We all like playing games on our systems, watching a great show or a movie on a TV, or even surfing on our smartphones. Many may be even watching this video on your system or a mobile. The greatest invention that a humankind has made is transistor. So in this video, we will see what exactly is a transistor and how does a transistor work. You're watching Beyond and let's get into our topic. A transistor is an information itself. Each and every transistor has its own data. Similarly, each and everything in our digital world is made up of zeros and ones. So without a transistor, there wouldn't be anything. The evolution towards a transistor started with vacuum tubes. So let's get into a few history classes. These vacuum tubes are bulky evacuated glass bulbs. The vacuum tubes consist three major parts, that is a cathode, grid and an anode. The current is given to the cathode, which heats up, causing the release of electrons. Due to this, the gases inside are removed and the electrons, which have very little resistance to their movement, they are easily attracted towards the positive charge. The grid in between is an important element which decides the working. While a positive voltage is given, it acts as a switch, and when a negative voltage is given, it acts as a repellent, due to which it doesn't allow electrons to pass. This is how binary coding in our digital world runs, with 1 as positive charge and 0 as negative charge. An interesting fact is that ENIAC had 18,000 vacuum tubes. Wondering what ENIAC is? It was the first general purpose electronic computer in our world used to perform calculation. It was invented in 1945, but this had many disadvantages. This was used at the time of World War II, where calculations were done very fast with this, but it was huge. It weighed 30 tons and consumed more power, as vacuum tubes run only when heat is generated. Pushing away all the history classes, let's come into today's advancement. The same computing power is contained on a silicon chip which is no larger than a grain of sand. The smallest object we use, that is our phones, have around 2 billion transistors which perform greater works. Then just imagine about your system and your TV. Said that, now let's get into its working. The transistors in our processors are incredibly small and microscopic. These are manufactured with high precision and dedicated machines. These are thin wafers of silicon crystal. If you have noticed, most of the electronic components are made up of two things, either silicon or germanium. Out of this, again, silicon is highly preferred. So what is so special in silicon? Silicon is a semiconductor, which means its conducting properties can be tailored, that is changed by introducing impurities into the crystal structure. Silicon, known as Si, has 4 electrons in its valence shell. These electrons determine many of the properties of an atom. Generally, an atom needs 8 electrons in the shell to be stable. Now, silicon forms covalent bonds with its neighboring silicon atoms to gain extra electrons. When impurity is added to the pure silicon crystal, we can change the conductivity of current. Most of the times, phosphorus, which has 5 electrons, is added. Now, the additional electron present roams in the crystal. This makes the n-type negatively charged. If boron, which has 3 electrons, is added, it gets an electron from silicon. This makes the p-type positively charged. At this stage, a hole is created at silicon atoms. This increases the conductivity of the material as the number of mobile charges increase. When the n-type and p-type semiconductor is attached at the terminals, we get the NPN or PNP transistor based on the arrangement. Now the transistors work based on the interaction of those free electrons and holes at the N and P-type junction. The free electrons in the N-type will migrate over to fill those holes at P-type junction. This creates a boundary layer, so-called depletion layer. This layer prevents more electrons to pass through due to the negative charges repelling each other. When a positive voltage is given to the base, there won't be a depletion layer, due to which the current flows. When millions of transistors are integrated, the data is stored or read just like a vacuum tube. That is, if no data, the transistor stores a 0 or a negative current flows. And if any value or data, it stores 1, which is obtained when a positive charge flows. The transistors are built based on logic gates which are used to perform calculations. All the components are made up of billions of transistors to perform all the different kinds of tasks. This even developing by decreasing the size of wafers. So transistors are the greatest change so far. I don't know about you, but it's a great thing for me and I feel happy about it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon next to it to get instant notification whenever I release a new video. Do share it with your friends, and if you have any similar questions, do leave it in the comment section, and always remember to think big.